Your brain is the most sophisticated survival machine in the universe. But what happens when the threat isn't a predator outside, but emotional pain inside? When reality becomes too traumatic, too shameful, or too stressful to process, your brain doesn't just panic. It actively manipulates your perception of reality. It alters memories, shifts blame, and lies to you. These are called psychological defense mechanisms. Originally conceptualized by Sigmund and Anna Freud, modern neuroscience has shown that these are very real, unconscious strategies deployed by your amygdala to protect your ego from collapsing. Today, we are going to explore the 8 most powerful defense mechanisms. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why the people around you act so toxic and how your own brain is deceiving you right now. Number 1. Denial. This is the most primitive and common defense mechanism of all. Denial isn't just lying. It is the absolute refusal of the brain to accept a reality that is too painful to process. Imagine standing in a burning room and genuinely believing the temperature is just perfectly warm. When a person is in denial, their conscious mind literally blocks the traumatic information from entering their awareness. You see this when someone receives a terminal medical diagnosis and continues planning a vacation for next year, or when a partner clearly shows signs of infidelity and the other person completely ignores the red flags. The brain calculates that acknowledging the truth would cause a complete mental breakdown, so it simply deletes the threat from reality. Number 2. Projection. Have you ever wondered why the biggest liars are always accusing you of lying? Or why a highly insecure person constantly criticizes others for being weak? This is projection. When your brain houses feelings, impulses, or flaws that are completely unacceptable to your own moral code, it experiences severe cognitive dissonance. To fix this, the brain takes those dark traits and exports them. It literally projects them onto someone else. The cheating spouse will aggressively accuse you of flirting with others. They're not just gaslighting you. On a subconscious level, they are protecting their own fragile ego by making you the bad guy. By attacking you for their own sins, they get to feel righteous instead of guilty. It's a brilliant yet highly toxic illusion. But what happens when the brain can't project the pain, but just wants to bury it? Number 3. Repression. Repression is the brain's ultimate archive system for severe trauma. Unlike denial, where you refuse to accept a current reality, repression deals with the past. When an event, like childhood abuse, a horrific accident, or severe emotional neglect, is too overwhelming, the brain forcefully pushes the memory deep into the unconscious mind. You don't just forget it. The memory is locked in a neurological vault. The person might have absolutely no conscious memory of the event. But here is the terrifying part about repression. The memory is buried, but the emotional charge is not. The pain leaks out as unexplained anxiety, phobias, or sudden depressive crashes. You feel the ghost of the trauma every single day, without ever knowing what is haunting you. Number 4. Displacement. This mechanism is entirely about the redirection of aggressive or sexual energy. Imagine your boss humiliated you at work. Your amygdala is screaming with anger, ready to fight. But your prefrontal cortex knows that if you scream at your boss, you will lose your job, your income, and your stability. The brain calculates that fighting back is too dangerous. But the anger doesn't just evaporate, it needs a target. So your brain displaces the emotion onto a safer, weaker target. You go home and scream at your partner for leaving a cup on the table, or you kick your dog. You displace the reaction from the threatening source to a non-threatening one. It saves your job, but it destroys your relationships. Number 5. Rationalization. Humans desperately want to believe they are logical, rational creatures. But the truth is, we make emotional decisions first, and then we use logic to justify them later. Rationalization is when your brain constructs logical, perfectly acceptable excuses for behavior that is actually unacceptable or driven by unhealthy impulses.
You break your diet and eat a massive cake, telling yourself, I had a stressful day, I deserve a reward. Or worse, you stay in an abusive relationship, telling yourself, they just had a hard childhood, they are stressed at work, they need me. Your brain builds an elaborate intellectual wall to protect you from the painful realization that you are out of control or accepting disrespect.
Number 6. Reaction formation. This is perhaps the most bizarre and counterintuitive defense mechanism of all. Sometimes an unconscious feeling is so unacceptable to your ego that your brain protects you by expressing the exact opposite behavior. It goes way beyond hiding your feelings. It's an extreme overcompensation. A person who secretly harbors deep, aggressive resentments towards their parent might become overwhelmingly, suffocatingly caring towards them. Or a politician who vehemently campaigns against a specific minority or lifestyle, only to be discovered secretly participating in it themselves. The brain is so terrified of its own internal desires or hatred that it builds a hyper-exaggerated mask of the opposite virtue. If someone's behavior seems suspiciously extreme and out of proportion, reaction formation is usually at play. Number 7. Intellectualization. When a traumatic event happens, the emotional flood can be enough to short-circuit the brain. To prevent this, the brain cuts the wires between thought and emotion. Instead of feeling the pain of a severe loss, a breakup, or a tragedy, the person becomes hyper-analytical, cold, and strictly academic about the situation. They focus on facts, statistics, and logistics. If they are diagnosed with a severe illness, they won't cry. Instead, they will spend 80 hours researching cellular biology and survival rates. It looks like incredible strength and composure, but it is actually a defense mechanism. The brain converts a terrifying emotional crisis into a simple math problem, because math cannot hurt you. But eventually, the math stops, and the emotion demands to be felt. Number 8. Sublimation. We have talked about toxic and destructive mechanisms, but sublimation is the one defense mechanism that actually saves lives. In fact, Freud believed it was the foundation of all human civilization and art. Sublimation is the process of taking highly destructive, aggressive, or unacceptable urges and channeling them into something productive, creative, and socially acceptable. Someone with severe anger issues who wants to hit people channels that aggression into becoming a professional boxer or running marathons. Someone dealing with the unbearable grief of a lost child channels that pain into writing a masterpiece novel or starting a charity. The brain takes the poison and turns it into fuel. It is the healthiest defense mechanism we possess. Your brain is constantly bending reality to keep you safe, but safety is not the same as healing. As long as these mechanisms run in the shadows, they control your life, your relationships, and your choices. The moment you recognize them, the illusion breaks. Which of these 8 defense mechanisms do you use the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to understand the true psychology of why people act the way they do, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.